Hello everyone, welcome back to Lucky Crit. Since we're about exactly 1 month out from Fire Emblem Three Houses release, it looks like some retailers in Japan are beginning to stock the cards for the digital copies of the game within their stores, and Reddit user Lancelam has blessed us with a photo of the back of one of them. This provides us with some interesting new details and specifics about the game. Firstly, the game will require about 11.9 gigabytes of free space on your Nintendo Switch console if you want to download the game digitally. And curiously, it says 11.9 gigabytes and over, implying that there might be further after-launch patches, or it could refer to the ability to download other content within the game, like DLC. We'll get to that in a moment. Vincent from Serenus Forest shared the comparison that Fire Emblem Warriors took up about 13 gigabytes of free space to download, which could be an interesting little bit of info if we think about it. While the maps for the Warriors games were probably a bit bigger than those that we'll see in Three Houses, I do find it interesting that that game is a bigger size than this one. Unless, of course, they manage to optimize things a bit more and save some more space this time around. Remember, Koei Tecmo is co-developing this game with Intelligent Systems, that's why the graphics do look very reminiscent of Fire Emblem Warriors graphics, but I'm gonna remain optimistic that this won't mean very much. Here's to hoping for a wide variety of maps and locations that we'll be able to visit within the game. The card also reveals that Fire Emblem Three Houses will support Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo's new paid online service to utilize online functionality in Switch games. However, according to a recent Game Informer article, with a journalist that managed to speak with Nintendo reps during E3 and gain some further insight, it seems that Fire Emblem Three Houses will not have online or local multiplayer. This was also further confirmed by others who had the experience of playing the demo and speaking to the reps themselves too, folks like OJ from PlayerEssence. This is a total bummer for me. Fire Emblem has always been a mostly single-player experience, so I'm sure most people will still love the game and not miss it very much, but in my opinion, with the Switch's portability and interactivity as one of its main selling points, it kinda stinks that one of Nintendo's biggest IPs won't be utilizing those features. Advance Wars showed us that multiplayer is certainly possible in games like this and could actually be quite fun and provide further value for players. So this one kinda stings for me a bit. I hope someday they'll explore multiplayer options again. But if this won't be for multiplayer though, then what's it for? Well, as OJ from PlayerEssence confirms, it seems that it's for the global activity feature that we've seen pop up in some of the menus of the game. This feature looks to compare weekly statistics of players across the world. Want to find out what the breakdown is of how many people joined each house or how they're playing the game? Well, maybe we'll be able to. I definitely like this feature, and there's still a part of me that at the very least hopes that we'll be able to have some spot pass features or battle other player students similar to what we saw in Awakening and Fates. You know, not true multiplayer, but some further degree of online connectivity. Echoes went much more subdued with Spot Pass, and I'm hoping that that won't be the case here, because personally, I didn't really like how they handled it for Echoes. Amiibo support is also another thing that's confirmed on this card. Now, we did already know that Amiibo would be compatible with the game, as in some of the gameplay footage we've seen of Byleth walking around the monastery, we did get to see a location called the Amiibo Gazebo, where the player would be able to utilize them. Since Nintendo seems to be winding down on making Amiibo and really just not doing as much anymore with them, I really hope we continue to see more functionality like this in later games and other Switch games in general, as I'd love to be able to use my Fire Emblem Amiibo in even more places and continue to get further value out of them. I hope this could also mean that we'll see some Fire Emblem Three Houses Amiibo. But think about it, an Amiibo for each of the three lords, Edelgard, Dimitri, and Claude, all color-coded, looking pretty on your shelf, maybe even a Byleth Amiibo. You can just have my money, Nintendo. Thanks. Anyway, nothing confirmed yet with any of that, but I hope that we see something along those lines. As far as what Amiibo will give the player within the game, we're still not 100% certain, but OJ of PlayerEssence said that during his time playing the demo with Nintendo reps, that it would give the player certain items, perhaps weapons, healing items, and so on. So probably nothing major, but a nice little added bonus, kind of like how it worked in Warriors. And lastly, DLC is also confirmed for the game. Not that it should be a surprise, considering Nintendo's taking to DLC practices in their more recent games, and especially more recent Fire Emblem games. So DLC will in fact be returning with Fire Emblem Three Houses. From the looks of it, it seems that this time DLCs will be new quests, side stories, and clothes, which could mean costumes or skins for characters. Now, they might be taking some inspiration from Koei Tecmo skins in Fire Emblem Warriors, such as the broken armor costumes and the alternative character costumes. I like the sound of this a lot actually, as it will add more variety to the appearances of our characters, especially if they can override any class, but we'll just have to wait and see. A lot of folks were not happy with the DLC pricing of Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia. In fact, it was probably the biggest controversy surrounding that game, thankfully, but the DLC Season Pass for Echoes came in at a whopping $45, more than the cost of the base game itself, for much less provided content and benefit. While the game was perfectly complete outside of this season pass, and they did a good job of just making the DLC helpful things to have, as well as a few Cypher crossover characters and bonus chapters that took place before the story events of the game, people were certainly not thrilled with that price tag, and you can absolutely understand why. So here's hoping that any DLC for Three Houses will be much more competitively priced and consumer friendly. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can do me a solid and slash the thumbs up down below, get subscribed for more Fire Emblem Three Houses coverage up to the launch of the game, and hopefully some helpful guides to come after it's out. Be sure to follow us on Twitter for the latest Three Houses news and updates as they come. You can also come chat with us on our Discord server if you want to talk Fire Emblem Three Houses and other games with our community there. And a huge thank you to all of my amazing patrons that help to make content like this possible. You guys are the real MVPs. And I will see you all next time.